Thanks for the memory of Math Man on the scene, biking down the team, and chuckles when the pie in the face was something to be seen. How lovely it was. Thanks for the memory of Kermit's sing-alongs, keeping me from wrong, and cool graphics, and just for kicks you sang to me a song. So thank you so much. Thanks for the memory of Mingo being there. Of course there was the hair in the Olympic Games, to which nothing can compare. How lovely it was. Thanks for the memory of playing basketball, Catwoman on the Pro, and baby math and seeing class. The lone teacher began it all. So thank you so much. Thanks, guys. Happy Tuesday, everybody. And we hope everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend and enjoyed the warm weather. And so we're on the last week of school. We are going to have an assignment each day, and you'll notice that everything is due this Thursday at 11:59. And so I'm going to try to get caught up, but I'm also going to be at school today, Wednesday, and Thursday from 10 to 1 to help with the distribution of things and to collect some things that you might have of mine. And so remember, if your last name is A to H, it's today, Tuesday, I to P is Wednesday, and Q to Z is Thursday. And so if you need your textbook because you're doing old assignments, you just need to get those done. And so everything from me you will have, so you won't need your textbook for anything that you're getting this week. But you want to make sure that you get all your assignments done, get all the old ones done, get them all updated, and make sure it's all done by Thursday night. And so we'll be working on that. You can email me, but I don't have Power School updated right now after the weekend, but we will get everything caught up. And so make sure you get everything due, and also make sure that you take attendance. And so we need that attendance taken. So remember, this week when you come to school, not only are you picking up the contents of your locker, if you have a textbook, you are dropping that off. If you're in geometry and you have a mirror or you have compasses, you're also dropping those off and making sure I get those, okay? So make sure you bring those with you, and we'll try to be there and wave through the window and pick up your stuff, okay? And so make sure you get the attendance taken, and we'll be ready to go. We're going to see what we have in store. You won't need your textbooks this week. Get those turned in when you come to school. Get everything you want to drop off, library books, any of those things. Make sure you get it. I'll give you everything you need. But today we're going to talk about, we talked about the counting principle, combinations, permutations. Today we're going to talk about permutations with things that repeated elements inside them. And we're going to do that with arranging letters in words, okay? And so these assignments this last week aren't going to be very long, but this is notes number 130. And so we're going to talk about the different ways to arrange letters in a word. And so if I said how many ways, now they don't have to make words. I just use the word word, but they're not really, just how many different arrangements of the letters. They don't have to be words. So if I said how many 4-letter words could you make out of Q-U-I-Z, I don't really mean words. I just mean arrangement of the letters. Well, we're not going to write all these because we already did this last week. This answer would be I have 4 letters, and I'm picking all 4. Well, there'd be 4 choices for the first blank. I could pick a Q, U, I, or Z. Then if I pick one, I only have 3 choices left. Then if I pick one, I only have 2 choices left. And if I pick one, I only have one choice left, and there are 24 ways to arrange the letters in quiz, and we already wrote them all when we did math last week, and we're not writing them all again. But then we're going to take a different four-letter word like jazz, and we're going to write these out, and we're going to see how this amount of arrangements relates to the first one. And so when we say how many different arrangements of the letters in the word jazz, we could begin with a J, and we could do A, Z, Z. Well, then that A could be where the first Z is, or the A could be where the last Z is. Well, there's three arrangements. They begin with a J. What else could they begin with? Well, they could begin with an A. What's that? We could just flip where the A and the J are. So instead of JA, it's AJZZ. And then this could be AZJZ. And this could be AZZJ. Well, what else could we do? Well, we could put the Z first. And the Z's, we could keep both Z's together in front. Have we had any of those? And then we could have AJ and JA. Is that all of them? Well, we had the Z's in the first two spots. We had the Z's in the last two spots. We had the Z's in the middle two spots. We had the Z's in the second and fourth spots. Where haven't we had the Z's yet, Alex? Yeah, in the first and the third. We could have had the Z in the first and the third, so we could have AJ and JA. Whoa, that went way over. So there must be 10 of them. What's that, Phoenix? There's 2 more? Why, where else could the Z's be? They could be, whoa, I need the highlighter. They could be in the first and last spots. We haven't put the Z's there. And so even when you're just writing out the arrangements of 4 letters, sometimes it's hard to remember exactly every combination you have. So a better way of counting this is not to actually write them all. Z, J, A, Z, Z, A, J, Z. Is to come up with a way of how this answer relates to this answer. Well, this answer is 4 factorial, the total number of letters. This answer ends up being 12. That's half of 4 factorial. Interesting. So we just, if we have 2 of the same, we divide by 2. Well, close. What you're really doing is you take the total number of letters you have, you put that on top. And then on the bottom, you write down how many times each letter appears. Well, all these letters only appear once. 1, 1, 1, 1. And you're multiplying them together, but they really aren't ones. They're really 1 factorials, which really equal 1. And so it's a total waste to write all those ones out because you're just dividing by 1. On this problem, you take the total number of letters you have, which is 4 factorial. The J appears once, that would be dividing by 1 factorial. The A appears once, you divide by 1 factorial. And the Z appears twice, you divide by 2 factorial. But it's kind of not worth your time to divide by all those ones. But you really are dividing by how many times each one appears. Oh, these could switch spots. And you could have UJ, UJ. These could switch spots. You could have UJJU. Whoops, not UJJJ. Oh, You can tell it's the first day of the week. What else could we have? We have the J's in the first and the third. Oh, we don't have what? What's that, Blakely? We could write the J's first. JJUU. I'll put a hat on this so you know it's a J. And then we could switch those spots. UUJJ. And so how many ways could I arrange this? Well, 6. The total 4 factorial, well, it'd be 4 factorial. And how many J's would you have? 2, so that's 2 factorial. Times, how many U's? 2 factorial. Now, when you type this in your calculator, if you do, you need to make sure you're dividing by all of this. You need to make sure you either type it in correctly and know how your calculator works, or make sure you type in parentheses to make sure you're dividing by the whole thing. Otherwise, you're going to start missing a lot of them. They have multiple repeaters. Okay? So to get this, you always do the total letters on top. How many total letters in your word or items in whatever? Factorial. That doesn't mean to yell it. And then you list the ones that repeat. Because you could list them all, but you'd be writing 1 a lot. List each repeating one. List the repeaters. And each one of those is a factorial separately. Okay? So make sure you list the repeaters separately. Separately. And don't write words with a mouse. It hasn't been fun. Okay? And so, on your own paper, of course, I'm not going to do it on your own paper. You have 20 questions. And actually, these last 4 I looked up. These are the words in the English language that have the most repeated letters. Effervescence, senselessness, inconveniencing, and flibbertigibbet. And maybe you want to look up flibbertigibbet, because if I said, John, you're a flibbertigibbet, should you say, thank you, or I'm mad Mr. Nyson called me a flibbertigibbet? I wonder what that means. See, education is supposed to cause you to have an interest and a curiosity. So is that good or bad to be a flibbertigibbet? I wonder. And I don't think John is one. And so here we go. So the first on your homework, write the word pop down. And then you're going to write down next to pop, you're going to write how many total letters? 3 factorial. And you could write there's 1 O and 2 P's, but really all that matters is the 2. And then 3 factorial divided by 2 factorial is 3. There are 3 ways to arrange the letters in POP. It could be POP, OPP, or PPO. Let's skip down. Let's go to tartar, like tartar sauce. How many total letters? That would be 6. And then how many T's? 2. How many A's? 2. How many R's? 2. But what's wrong with the person who types this in their calculator and does 6 factorial divided by 2 factorial times 2 factorial times 2 factorial? What's wrong with that? Thomas? Yeah, they're only dividing by the 2 factorial. That actually means these 2 guys would actually be up here. And you will totally get the wrong answer because you'll be multiplying by those and you won't be dividing by them all. So if you're going to type this in your calculator, you need to put parentheses around this, or just figure out that 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, and do 6 factorial divided by 8. 6 factorial is 720. Half of that's 360. Half of that's 180. And half of that is 90. Okay? And so make sure you count carefully on these last ones, like giggling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Some of you counted the letters in hexagon wrong. You thought there were 8 in there. But there weren't. There were only 7. But there are 4 G's. And then there are 2 I's. Just like you, 2 I's. 1 factorial, but that doesn't matter. Just make sure, however you do this problem, you are dividing by the whole thing at the bottom, okay? And I want to see the factorials on your paper, okay? So all these assignments are due Thursday night. You don't get the whole week and the weekend because school's out. And so we're working right up to the end, so you know this stuff for next year. And if this doesn't take very long, and send it to me right away. And we'll see who the first one done today is. School, okay? So if you get stuff done right away, otherwise wait till after 1, and then I'll be back answering your emails. And so we miss all you guys. What a crazy year it's been. We still got one more e-learning day after this. And so we want to get all your work done. The sun's coming up. And so we miss you all. Get your work done. Email me. Redo stuff. Let me know how it's going. Okay? Bye-bye.